This is In the Loop. I'm Cody LaGrow in for Christian Bryant. And let's be honest, working from home is nice. So nice, we're seeing more companies make remote work permanent. And while that's just dandy for the elastic pants enthusiasts out there, city leaders are worried about the impact it will have on the economy that relies on office workers. Because let's be real, those 9-to-5ers money don't jiggle. It folds right into the businesses near their place of work. They're spending their dollars on lunch, transportation, maybe random errands to Zara that's just 2 blocks away on their lunch break. I've heard it's an option, okay? So that spending has already taken a huge hit. Nearly 60% of people are continuing to work from home, and the estimates for the next few years don't look much better. In New York City, for example, the average office worker is predicted to cut their annual near-office spending in half. That means nearly $7,000 less than they would pre-pandemic. This is the largest drop of any major U.S. city, followed by LA, San Francisco, and Atlanta. New York City Mayor Eric Adams and New York Governor Kathy Hochul have expressed concern, and they want the city's million-plus private sector workers to get back to the carpeted walls of their cubicle.
Who we were pre-COVID is not who we are post-COVID. But I do know this. In order for our economic, financial ecosystem, I should say, to function, we have to have human interaction. It can't be done from home. And if we do that, then we are going to greatly impact low-wage workers.
We say, everybody back in the office. You can have a flex time, but we need you back at least the majority of the week. Come on back, New Yorkers, we miss you.
In Philadelphia, a recent analysis found that the city could see 19,000 fewer workers commute to work per day. Researchers noted that remote work could have significant long-term impact on Philly's wage tax, which has produced about half of the city's local tax revenue in recent years. San Francisco expects about a third of its employees to work from home indefinitely. The city is a tech hub, so a lot of its employees easily transitioned to full-time at-home work throughout the pandemic. Mayor London Breed says the impact of remote work on the economy is noticeable.
We see it in our empty downtown offices, in the for lease signs in Union Square, the half-filled hotels.
By the end of last year, Seattle saw only 18% of its downtown commuters taking public transit to work, down from about half of commuters during pre-pandemic times. And overall, these changes could radically reshape many parts of major American cities. Data from the American Public Transportation Association shows that nationwide, ridership has recovered to only about 60% of pre-pandemic levels, and there's fears that these systems could see cuts. To help out these local agencies, Biden and U.S. Department of Transportation recently awarded $2.2 billion in grants to help support essential transit jobs. As far as the impact on businesses and low-wage workers, a BLS report from March showed that over 2.5 million people were unable to work because their employer closed or lost business during the pandemic. And while higher-paid workers are more likely to have the option to work from home, which saves them time and money, lower-wage workers are suffering as we see patrons from places like coffee shops and lunch spots declining. Ultimately, when these businesses close their doors, those workers are out of a job. Remote work isn't the only thing impacting the economy. As summer approaches, a shift in travel plans could also make a negative impact. A lot of people normally drive to their vacation destinations, but might have to reroute this year. Gas prices are reaching record numbers, averaging more than $4.59 a gallon nationwide. And according to AAA, that's 50% higher than gas was at this time last year. So inflation is at a 40-year high, and a recent survey from Bankrate found that nearly 70% of adults are changing their summer plans because of it. National correspondent Maya Rodriguez takes us to Michigan and explains what small businesses around the country can do to make sure families can still pack up that minivan and spend some quality time together.
You mean when I go to buy gas? It's awful.
The pain at the pump is a real pain in the neck.
Especially when you're on like a fixed budget too. I'm a college student, so I don't really have extra cash.
AAA says the nation is experiencing its highest average gas price ever. A necessity some can't do without. But then the weather gets warmer And suddenly, this
The pier and the lighthouse and the beach here. Our lighthouse is very iconic to our community.
can also feel like a necessity.
We're right on the cusp of our peak season.
We met MARCI CISNEROS on a hazy 80-degree day.
Summer in the Grand Haven area is very special.
As director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, it's her job to say that and to bring in visitors here to the community of Grand Haven on the eastern shore of Lake Michigan.
Really kind of up and down the coast within our area are a lot of great beaches to explore.
Most of their summer visitors drive in, a taller task than usual given gas prices lately.
I think maybe those long haul road trips might be revised because of gas prices.
With that in mind, CISNEROS says they're focusing their marketing and advertising efforts on areas closer to home, counting on people who want to get away, but not too far away.
So we'll probably get more in-state travel.
But there's another issue too, how much people are willing to spend once they get here, given that just getting somewhere will cost more.
Their budget may just limit the amount of expenditures. Once they get to their destination, maybe they don't spend that extra $100 a night on the hotel they want, or maybe they don't do as much shopping or eating out.
How that all shakes out in tourist areas across the country this summer remains to be seen. CISNEROS says they still expect a growth in visitor numbers between 3 and 5% compared to last year.
We can put together the slickest marketing plan. We have an amazing community. We have beautiful natural assets here, but there's so many other factors that can play into that we don't have control over.
But after a global pandemic, they hope pent-up demand to get out might override anything else.
We're being optimistic.
In Grand Haven, Michigan, I'm Maya Rodriguez.